could find out. Shawty bad, but I don't need her right now. Out she busy cooking in my hideout. She a girl, but she chilling with me somehow. Now stick with me, you could find out. Make up.
Hello there. How's your day going? Do you have something interesting to share? Well, then, if you do, leave it in the comments. But if not, no worries. Maybe this video will add something to your day. Golden Kamuy. Golden Kamuy isn't the funniest anime I've ever watched, but it's pretty close. And I can't say it's also the most action-packed either. Yet for some reason, first time I watched it, I binged 5 episodes in that very first sitting. And here's the weird part. I can't even begin to tell you what hooked me. Maybe I was just bored, maybe it was curiosity, or maybe just the sheer oddness of the show. But whatever it was, Golden Kamuy dug it close and had me hooked for 5 episodes straight. Now if someone described Golden Kamuy to you with no prior context, you'd think they were talking about one of the most depraved anime of all time. Mutilation, unhinged characters, brain eating, poop jokes, the kind of humor that makes you laugh and then immediately question if you should be still allowed into society. Like for real, why did I laugh at the scene where 2 guys were having a nut battle? That's just not normal. And yet for some reason, it works. Somehow, this shit really works. And that's one of the first magic tricks of Golden Kamuy. It makes you laugh at things that you even didn't think were supposed to be funny. Like, there are jokes in the anime that had me actually pause the episode and ask myself, what the fuck is wrong with me? The truth is, the show is not trying to give me a punchline, not trying to get a reaction out of me. But sometimes it ends up overlapping. And one reason why it lands so well is because of the characters. Golden Kamuy has so many characters that it's almost unfair to ask someone to pick a favorite. I mean, even in One Piece with over 1,000 named characters, I can say easily that Rocks and Blackbeard are my top 2 favorite characters. But in Golden Kamuy, it's just much harder for me. Mainly because a lot of the characters are batshit crazy and I love it. But if I had to pick like my top 2 favorite characters, I would probably say Sugimoto and Asteripa. Those 2 would rank pretty highly. Sugimoto's are immortal. The guy truly deserves that epithet. But the thing that sticks with me isn't just his toughness. How he carries himself through all the insanity, balancing loyalty and sheer survival. And then there's Asiripa. He's this anchor of culture and perspective in a story where everyone is chasing gold, violence, or chaos. Together they form this bond that isn't over the top, emotionally investing, but quietly magnetic. And you don't even notice when you start rooting for them. You just end up doing. And speaking of Asiripa, you can't talk about Golden Kamuy without bumping into the Ainu side of the story. I'll be honest, first didn't really care for it. Felt like background noise. I was watching the show, just the weird jokes, the shootouts, the wild treasure hunt. But then one day I stumbled on a random YouTube video with some Japanese history. Then suddenly the Ainu stuff wasn't just flavor. It hit me as something much bigger. Now the Ainu are an indigenous people of Japan, and the show brings them right into the spotlight. The sad part is, historically, the Ainu weren't like wiped out by war or genocide from Japan. They were more systematically and quietly erased through forced assimilation, through the culture being overwritten. That kind of slow erasure is, I would think it's even more tragic than, and then I can't say it's more tragic than all. That kind of slow erasure is very, very tragic. It reminded me of something that's almost universal. Like throughout history, bigger, stronger groups have always pushed smaller ones to become like them. And when that happens, you don't just lose people, you lose traditions, stories, knowledge, and entire worlds of meaning. Now, I can't sit here and claim that I know their pain, but as someone from Uganda where colonization left deep marks, I recognize the pattern. You grow up surrounded by traces of something older, something that isn't always visible anymore, and it feels sad but also something worth remembering. So yeah, I didn't expect Golden Kamuy to hit me on that level. Thought it was just a wild, funny show about buried gold. But the more I watched, the more it turned into something I couldn't easily explain. Which leads me to the real heart of it. Golden Kamuy is uniquely Golden Kamuy. That sounds lazy, but that's the only way I can describe it. I've consumed enough anime and manga and games to say this confidently. I've never seen anything quite like it. The way it balances comedy, gore, culture, and history. It just shouldn't work, but somehow it does. I'm sure another creator out there could break it down neatly, label each ingredient, and explain the recipe, but me? All I can say is that it's one of a kind. And maybe that's why it lingers in my head even when I'm not watching it. And that brings me back to why I'm making this video. Because honestly, I could have just kept Golden Kamuy as a personal favorite of mine, but I didn't. I wanted to share it. Maybe it's because I want to find like-minded people, not the large, loud groups of anime fans who love arguing over the same ridiculous topics. Well, I'm talking about people who get why something like Golden Kamuy is good, even if they can't fully explain it either. So yeah, this video isn't about chasing numbers, just something of a culture video for me, about building an audience that values these hidden gems, these niche loves, and Golden Kamuy just happens to be the first step. So, if someone asks me, why should they watch Golden Kamuy? Well, I would probably say because it's funny. And yes, that's underselling it by a mile, but maybe that's the best way. You come in for the laughs, and if you stick around long enough, you will discover the buried gold underneath. Hee what they did there, buried gold. Yeah. So at this stage of my YouTube journey, my goal is quite simple. One video every month, just one. Best production I can pull off as a one-man army. If I can drop more, that would be great. But the one video, love and care poured into it, well, that's my new standard. And Golden Kamuy felt like a perfect topic to start with because it's one of those shows that quietly got under my skin. And if you've stayed with me through this whole video, I hope you felt entertained and thank you for giving me this time of day. I look forward to my next work.